Have you ever wondered about the biggest unanswered questions in Blue Lock? What are your biggest questions? Will these ever be answered in the future? Continue watching this video to find out. We are already 200 plus chapters in the manga, and we are yet to be introduced to the rest of the new Gen 11. We are only introduced to 3 new Gen 11 players thus far, and it seems like they plan on making them characters that change the story heavily, at least for both Itoshi Sai and Kaiser. Regarding the rest of the new Gen 11, there may be a few more relevant new Gen 11 players that can alter the story, but I believe that a lot will just be introduced during the U20 World Cup arc, which seems to be the next arc. This way, there's a high chance that we will be introduced to new players and challenges for Isagi soon. This would be a good thing for the fans of Blue Lock who look forward to reading the manga for years to come. I personally would want this manga to go for as long as it could, since there are still tons of aspects that haven't been covered yet, and especially since Isagi is still miles away from becoming the #1 striker. I wouldn't want them to rush his development. One of the biggest questions in Blue Lock is who was the one responsible of destroying Itoshi Sai's ego of becoming a striker. Some can argue that it was either Kaiser or Luna who crushed this dream, and these are currently the most logical guesses at this current time, since we haven't been introduced yet to the rest of the new Gen 11. There's a high chance that it was Leonardo Luna, as he plays on the same team as Itoshi Sai in La Real, and he was forced to play as a midfielder after realizing the skill gap between the both of them. However, Sai was pretty young back then, and it would be very weird for him to believe that he was way more inferior to Luna, who was years older than him and had a lot of experience. I refuse to believe that Itoshi Sai gave up his dream of being a striker just like that, when there are way better strikers aside from Luna. Despite this, there is still a chance that one of the new Gen 11, who has not been introduced yet, was responsible for changing Sai's dream. It is possible that it was a Spanish forward with tons of talent and potential that led to Sai changing his dream to become a midfielder. Next up, we have the mystery behind Aoris Messi, Hajime Nishioka. He was a player who was hyped up since the very start. He was even chosen over Baro during the second selection, but it would make sense since Baro was just a really self-centered player and he had to be better than Naruhaya. With the Nagi spin-off manga ongoing, we could possibly even see him play in the future of the second selection. With this, another question also arises, and that is who was the one who stole Nishioka from Baro and Naruhaya? Well, I might or might not be making a video analyzing who stole Aoris Messi. You guys can be the judge of that. Right now, Nishioka has an offer worth 3 million yen, which means that he has finally recovered from his injury and is finally playing in the NEL. We don't even know what his skills are yet. With him recently coming back from injury and Manshine City on the verge of being winless, could he possibly come back and reach the top 23 by helping Nagi against FC Barca in Manshine City's last game? Or will he end up just being a meme in the verse? If you're enjoying this video so far, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to let me know that you want more videos just like this. Is Nagi going to come back from his current downfall? Well, as someone who currently has an ongoing spin-off manga, there is almost no way that Nagi goes down just like this, unless he ends up being used as a representation for being the opposite player of Isagi, wherein he has recognizable talent, is lazy, doesn't have that much football IQ, and doesn't have as big as an ego as Isagi. I doubt that this would be the case. Nagi's downfall has been foreshadowed since the start, and it seems like it was just a setup for Nagi to finally get the character development that he needs for the plot. In chapter 247, we see that Nagi is finally getting fired up after their loss against the Ubers. With him wanting to change, there's a chance that this is going to be the start of Nagi's comeback. I personally didn't want Nagi's comeback to be against FC Barca, since it would be a waste. I mean, they're going against FC Barca, which was known to be the weakest team in the NEL. Manshine City was expected to win this matchup in the first place, so I don't think it would be as hype as it should be. It would be crazy if both Nagi and Reo ended up failing again against FC Barca, and the only way for Nagi to develop was if Reo ended up not making it in the top 23, which would allow Nagi to be alone and develop. However, this way, both Nagi and Reo would not be able to achieve their dream together, so I doubt that this would happen. Next up, we have a question that has been going around for a really long time. What happened to Kunigami in the wildcard program? We know that this was created as a secondary pathway for the ones who lost during the earlier phases of the program. In the wildcard, an unusual philosophy was forced onto the minds of players in order for them to change. It was an experiment to create a player that embodied the greatest striker in Noa. However, we do know that it wasn't all fun and games as it messed up Kunigami's head and changed up his whole personality. After completing the process, he became very cold and was focused on becoming a better striker by solely aiming for his own goals. We still do not know exactly what happened and how the rest of the players were eliminated from the program. In fact, it was a program wherein you had the choice to either join or not. In chapter 213, Kunigami mentions that he really was forced to become ambidextrous, and that it only worked because of his physical attributes. This would mean that it would have been almost impossible for majority of the players who were eliminated to even make it through. It still leaves a big hole as to how the flow of the program went and how they were treated for 2 months. We have yet to get a backstory of the one puppeteering the whole of Blue Lock, Jinpachi. So what is his background story? As the manga progressed, we were able to take away that he truly does have a ton of football knowledge and is aware of the problems within Japan football. We were even able to learn that he was a rival of the #1 striker in Blue Lock, Noa. Noah found him very annoying when going against him, so it would imply that Jinpachi was actually a really good player despite what he looks like now. It's possible that an injury is what stopped him from being great, and so he wanted to find someone who shared the same ego that he had, hence his name. However, it seems like we won't be knowing his whole story for some time. What we do know is that Isagi does resemble him in different ways, so we can assume that Ego was just like Isagi, plus went through other obstacles. Isagi could end up becoming a player that not only resembles Jinpachi, but also Noa, which would potentially form the best striker mentally and physically. Lastly, we go back to the very start of Blue Lock, the one who lit the fire inside Isagi. Will Kira ever come back? We do know that Ego mentions that whoever is eliminated from Blue Lock will not be able to play for Japan anymore. That key phrase can lead to Kira playing for another country instead, which would lead him to coming back during club play, the U20 World Cup, or even the World Cup where he has time to develop. His design looks pretty foreign, which could lead him to having a second nationality. However, despite all of these, it doesn't really seem likely for him to come back as an antagonist unless he somehow surpasses the talents of the likes of Rin and Kaiser. It wouldn't make sense to bring Kira back if he doesn't even become as good or even stronger than the current Isagi. Not only this, but we already had another player come back from the dead in Kunigami, so it might be a little repetitive. What do you guys think? What are your biggest unanswered questions in Blue Lock? Were some of your questions mentioned in this video? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have other what if ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. Have you ever wondered about which Blue Lock players deserve to be part of the NEL Top 23? Check this video out right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you for watching.